I'm Deborah, and I'll be your host today on the NCGR podcast, where we're building community through astrological research and education. Today, we're talking about the NCGR SIRG launch happening on Monday, October 19th. We were introduced to SIRGs, which are also known as the Special Interest Research Groups, in our last episode with Amy and Lori on the asteroid surge. So this week, we have the NCGR President, Linda Kubota Byrd, joining us to share all the details of our upcoming SIRG launch. So welcome, Linda. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited you're here. And I'm so grateful for everything you've done with NCGR and especially with what's coming up. We have so much that's going on behind the scenes. And you've been president for about 2.5 years, right?
Yes. 2.5 years and 2 months. But who's counting?
Right. Who's counting? But before we get into the SIRG launch and who's leading them and what the different topics are, I want to talk about your start with NCGR because you were a member before you took on this leadership position. So what was it about NCGR that enticed you to join and to participate in?
Well, I attended a conference back, I think it must have been 2009, 2010. And I just thought, we should start a chapter in Sacramento. And so that's what happened. We started a chapter. Actually, we revised a chapter. There was one here a long time ago, I guess. And so, yeah, I've been president of the Sacramento chapter for 14 years.
Wow. Okay, so you're president of National NCGR and you're also president of the Sacramento chapter, which you
Yes.
help revive. Very cool.
Yes. Yeah.
And just so that we also spoke to Liz Hazel before, who walked us through what it's like to start a chapter with NCGR. But can you tell us a little bit about your experience with that? Just because I want people to know that if there isn't a chapter by them, it is possible to start one.
Absolutely. In fact, we've started several chapters since I've been president, and it's really relatively easy. So you just need to have the enthusiasm to do it, and to just you need a president and a treasurer, and just customize your bylaws. We'll give you a template, so those are real easy. And that's you know about it. Well, sorry, you need 10 people.
Okay.
10 people to
So you
start,
need 10
and
people, you need
10
a
people,
treasurer, a
and it's
president,
mhm,
to go over the bylaws, which NCGR provides a template for.
right, right.
Hey, very
Yeah.
cool. And I love your story about how you became national president of NCGR. So I was hoping you can share that with everybody on what really made it click in you that you needed to move forward in this position.
Well, I was, asked 6 times. I kept thinking, "Why would I do that?" You know, because I have a good life. But but the 7th time, I did a synastry chart, and I saw that my moon is 4 minutes off the NCGR sun, which, by the way, we're right in in the eclipse. It's right on our sun and moon today. So,
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
right, because we're recording on September 7th.
Right, right. So we're in the lunar eclipse. Anyway, and then my Saturn is 27 minutes off the NCGR MC. So, yeah, and I was looking at it today, just looking at preparing for this, and I noticed that my Mars is 4 minutes off of this new planet called Liliuokalua that I've just learned a lot about through the dwarf planet surge.
Yes.
So, yeah, so it's like there were so many things. There's other things, but those were the closest, and it was like, okay, looks like it's
There's
part of my journey.
Yeah, the synergy between the sun and the moon, your Saturn on the midheaven, and I can attest that you've put in a lot of work for NCGR. And because of that, I've witnessed so many changes that have happened in NCGR. And I'm curious, what are the biggest differences you've seen since you've become president?
Well, I appreciate you asking that question because it kind of made me look back to see what's been accomplished. And I had three main objectives when I took on the office. One was to bring NCGR into alignment with its chart and its mission statement. And so I was looking at that, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. If you don't mind, I'll go over some of those later. And then also to provide more value to our members, which I think the SIRG program is really, on top of the list of that one. And then to support any other people, organizations, businesses who are in alignment with our mission of raising the awareness of astrology in, the world. Anyway, I was looking at the moon, I mean, the sun, because we have a Pisces sun, and we have charities now the chapters have charities they can nominate for funding, and we encourage outside of astrology so that it's building an awareness of astrology or building credibility within our communities. Also, we do an Ask the Astrologer, and we donate to a charity that supports any kind of relief needed around the world. So that was part of it. Also, just being more in tune. I would say I have a Pisces stellium, so I like, just being more connected to kind of the magic that goes on. And I noticed, the magical things that have happened, like with you coming to do the podcast and Emily Waldron, who's just done an amazing job, raising our membership abilities and so forth. So it's just also being really open to the guidance. I know it sounds very corny, but that we get. And then our Cancer moon is all about community and chapters and really establishing us as like this astrological home for astrologers or where they can feel like this is their family. So that's really important to me. And also, we've been working a lot more with committees um, rather than just one person having the whole thing on their shoulders, but just doing more with committees, which is really fun. And we get a lot more input. I think we get a lot higher quality because we have a lot of people with different skills. So I think that with our Cancer moon. And then our ascendant, we're known for our education. So it's like really upping our education game and doing more. Oh, I just want to point out that it's not just our national webinars that we offer every month and our international, which are free to everybody, but also our chapters have webinars every month too. So there's this wealth of information being offered every month. And some of the chapters are offering theirs for free. So there's just a lot of free opportunities to learn. And like my chapter only charges $10 a month or $10 for a thing.
That's what I love about the different chapters within NCGR and being a member, that you can still take advantage of the webinars that other chapters are providing. You don't have to be locked out because you're in one chapter. So you can still register. Sometimes there's no fee, but at the end of the day, it normally is a very small fee. I think the most I've ever seen is like $15, $20 if you're a member. I think 15 if you're a member. So it's
Yeah,
very
some are more,
accessible.
but yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
each chapter is autonomous, so it gets to do whatever it wants. But I sign up for, Las Vegas because it's only $5, and even if I can't actually make it, I get a recording, and it's just nice to support the other chapters and things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so happy you talked about so much of the chart of the NCGR chart, because I think that's been part of the magic you've provided to NCGR, that you've really been able to keep to your original mission of being able to revive the what the chart has wanted, right? And so much of the like the moon and in Cancer, I really have seen how the work within like committees has really translated that, because we've worked together and we create friendships and like these more intimate relationships, and we work and initiate things together as we're building. out the next phase of NCGR. So I've definitely have seen that firsthand, and I think this podcast is an example of that. So thank you for supporting it the way that you have.
Well, thank you. And I just wanted to finish with the Leo midheaven, because since
Oh,
this is
yeah.
my Saturn that's on it, it's helped me to become more more playful, I guess, and to, for the creativity and the things that we're doing. We're just having fun. I think the NORWAC committee was a great example of, where we came together and just had a good time. And,
Yes.
yeah, so
Yeah, for those who don't know, there was the NORAC committee for NORAC 2025, the NCGR. We were from all over. So we created these friendships, we worked together, and we got to have so much fun with each other, enjoy each other's company, and it was really, really special. And we all walked away with new friendships. And at the end of the day, we also were there to do work, right? We were there to introduce NCGR to the NORWAC environment. So it was so much fun. And Linda, of course, was there with us at the table the whole time.
well, and we had a fun party too. It was the first org party we've done, and that was really it was orchestrated. It was just very creative and really fun. So, yeah, and I think the fun now through the committees, through the president's meetings, the presidents meet 4 times a year. Even the board meetings are fun. It's
Mhm.
just that I think that we're we're just in a new phase of growth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very
That
exciting.
Jupiter and Cancer going over our moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know surges have been a major interest of yours, and because it brings us back to the original mission of NCGR. So I've seen that commitment. But can you tell me a little bit about the history of surges within NCGR and how did they start or become part of the organization?
Well, this all started the surge all started with Demetra George. I was meeting with her or just visiting with her at Norwalk last year. And she said that she had some students who have become colleagues who were interested in starting up the SIGs. They used to be special interest groups. And so when I brought the idea back, then Lee Weston said that the SIGs, the way they were set up, is pretty much outdated. And so she suggested we insert research, and that just lit me up. I just thought, oh yeah, this is so perfect. Special interest research groups, In fact, we're even naming our launch Research Resurgence, um, because, might as well have fun, right? So yeah. So, and then I just started talking to people organically that I came across, and everybody was, yeah, count me in. So it grew really fast. And so, yeah, so we did the dwarf planet and the asteroids as our beta testing to see, how they would work. And it was so fun to be kind of a fly on the wall with both groups. And they were very different. The dwarf planet was was very orchestrated and agenda for every meeting and assignments and they accomplished a lot because Ellen had a deadline where he wanted to get information. I was amazed. And then Lori and Amy's is on the other side. It's friendlier. It's more visiting, people telling stories. It's fascinating to see, the asteroids and how they affect us. And through just sharing, I learn a lot. And there's so much room for research with that. It's a huge topic. Yeah. So
Yeah, there's a lot of asteroids like we discussed. um, October 19th marks the launch of the Surge Revival or the Research Resurgence, like you named it, which I love. What can we expect that day? If you're a member, what can you expect to see? If you're not a member, how do you expect to know more about this?
well, it's for everybody. It's not just for members because I think research is really interesting or it's people are interested in research. So what we've done is we created a panel so that people who are researchers who have backgrounds in research will be available to answer questions. So if you have any questions, those of you who are listening to this, just send them in because we're just wanting to be, very friendly and informative. Um, and so the people on our research panel are Wendy Stacy, um, this lady named Didem Khan from Turkey. She looks like she's well thought of in the research world. And Franco Millet, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but he's Alfie Lavoie's head of research. And so he'll be on. And then Judith Hill. And Judith is a longtime researcher and was involved with NCGR research many years ago. So she's really excited that this is coming back. So those are our panel. And then it'll be followed by the SIRG leaders introducing themselves and their topics and their objectives. So, yeah.
Okay. Is this a live webinar that people can sign up for? Okay.
Well,
So
yeah.
if you're interested in the Resurgence or Surge Revival, people can, member or not, can sign up for this webinar on ncgrastrology.org, correct?
We'll be sending out a link in our upcoming newsletter because I'm doing like a preview thing. So yeah, and you'll be
Okay, so if
getting
you're
a save the date and so forth. So there's a lot of information that'll be coming along the way. Yeah, but mark your
awesome.
calendars now.
Mark your calendars, October 19th. If you're a member, you'll see it in the newsletter. And if not, we're going to be sharing that, whether it's on our website or on social media, because everyone can participate with this.
Right, right. Yeah. And it's at 1 Eastern. So,
1 Eastern on October 19th. So what topics are going to be available and who's going to be leading this group? I know you spoke about the panel, but who's going to be leading the individual surges?
okay. Well, it's
I know
exciting because
a lot.
I'm looking for the top names. I'm going to have to look at my list because there's quite a few.
Yes, there's a
Um,
lot. Yeah.
so the asteroid research is Dimitri George is the advisor for that, and she's oftentimes on the at the meeting. So it's
Mhm.
kind of nice to just know that she's there. Um, and then dwarf planets. Alan Clay is going to start another one on a different dwarf planet in January. So Alan will be on and kind of sharing a little bit of what it's like to run the surge. And then Henry Seltzer, I thought of him because he wrote a book on Eris, but I think he's going to do one on Haumea and Mucky Mucky. So that's going to be Alan's. And then Judith Hill. Judith has a theory about how to prove astrology works through the traditional scientific methods. And so she's excited to work on that and try that out with this group. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be medical related, but she hasn't given me a
Sign me
specific.
up for anything Judith Hill.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
Right, right. And then Wendy Stacy's going to lead one, and she's done a lot of research on birth times. So I'm presuming is going to be, she's already published with that, but I'm presuming it's going to be a continuation of that, but it may be something else. I'm not sure exactly with that. And then our own Crystalline Sophia, our clerk, she wants to do one on a Hellenistic topic, and I think it's going to be perfections. So, and I think Maria Monder is going to join her with that. And Vivi Henriette, for those of you who know Vivi, she's going to be partnering with Crystalline on that one. And then Kelly Hunter is going to do one on Cheroklo. And Andrea Gertz is doing one on remediation, which I think will be really cool. Um, and then we met a young man at the NORAC conference named Jeremy Walker. And Jeremy asked for us to do one on autism. So he's going to do one with his teacher, Tanya Kitola. And then John Marcasella is doing one on second Saturn returns. And
Of
so, and
course.
John sounds like it's going to be more of like a 3-hour one-time surge. So, and he's got a specific profile of the kind of people he wants in his group. So that'll be interesting, which kind of brings me to the surge formats are going to be determined by the leaders and their groups. So they could be from, they could run forever, really, just meaning however they want to meet. I'm picturing probably once a month. So, and so,
So it will vary from surge to surge,
mhm,
um, the length and the frequency of it.
exactly, exactly. And then Kat Moyer and Ariel Gutman are doing one on Venus and the Venus star point, obviously, because
Wow, that's so
that's
cool that we'll have that at NCGR.
yeah, yeah, and that Ariel is joining up with Kat, so I think that's going to be they're both excited about this one too. Um, so and then Elfie Lavoie is doing one on left-handers. So and Maurice Fernandez is this close. So Maurice, I'm presuming he's going to be doing one on Neptune, but I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do. And
To be
then
determined.
to be determined. And then Mike O'Brien had said he would do it at Norwalk, but um, I have to check in with him again. Yeah. So I was looking for really, top names in what they do. And there's just so many others I'd like to invite to do other topics, but this seemed like a lot to start
I
with.
think this is a lot that we're starting with, or, it's giving everyone a little bit of something.
Hmm.
As you're going through the list, I'm like, oh, I want to do that one. I want to do that one. And I think that's the cool thing of this surge revival, of this research resurgence, that we are giving a plentitude of topics for everyone. It's not just one thing. And so, again, it's just increasing the accessibility of what NCGR has to offer, which is, again, varies so much and it's across the board in astrology.
Yeah. Yeah. And people could join as many as they want.
Because there's no fee. It's just you sign up and you attend meetings. It's part of what we offer to the astrology community at large. And just to reiterate, you don't have to be a member to be part of the surges, right?
Oh no, the surge is that you for the surge launch, anybody could come. And
Okay.
to be a member, to join a surge, you
Participate.
do have to be a member because this is one of the values added for membership. Yeah.
Would be a great time to join if you're interested. And what can we expect that it's going to be? I know you mentioned there's going to be a difference between surges and surge leaders on how they're run, but what can we expect to be done within the surge groups?
I think it's going to depend, like I said, on the leader because with Ellen's group, they were very focused on particular tasks. So, some took the Sabian symbols, some took the founding date, and so forth. And they communicated a lot through, um, some others will just be, we meet once a month and we just talk about what we want to talk about, and just to share stories or whatever. And I think it's going to really vary. Um, and in that, it depends on what style you want, you know? It would be for Ellen's group, they're researchers, they're serious, and he was thrilled to have a team of people. I think there's a lot of things, I mean, there's a myriad of ideas for what we'd like to do research on. And I think that through these groups, they may break into subgroups, like the asteroid topic is so huge. There may be, smaller groups that form. Ultimately, what we'd like to achieve is that they will gather data, write up papers, and contribute to the credibility of astrology. That's my Piscean big picture of what these will do. Ultimately, we're providing a research advisory board to help people to do the research portion because not everybody is familiar with the rules of putting research together. So we're trying to make this as comprehensive as we can, and the group itself will. I just think things are very organic now. So the group itself, I think, will establish the culture.
Yeah. And I love how this resurgence that we have of the surges is really bringing us back to the mission of NCGR. We are an astrology organization that really has been known for research. And in the previous episode, even when we spoke to Amy and Lori about the asteroid one, how they said this was really just a revival of one that Demetra George had in the 80s. So it's really bringing things back to its true core and essence of what NCGR wants to offer. And that's part of building credibility of astrology for the world at large. So this is really cool. I'm really excited. And again, the topics are just so interesting and there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
And where can people find out more about the surges if they are not signed up for our newsletter?
Right now, we're working on our website to make us a page dedicated to the surges. You can find out more about um, the two that are running on our website now. And then stand by because we do plan to roll this out with different information. So, yeah.
Yes. And that's a great reminder that all these searches are not going to be happening at the same time, that they will be staggered, correct?
Right, right. The different teachers will let us know when they are ready to start. Yeah, I think the remediation one actually, um, Andrea is already starting to advertise on Facebook and so forth. So that one's starting, I think, shortly after the launch. Yeah, and I think the one on the autism, I think they're starting shortly after too. Yeah, so it'll they'll be offered at different times. Yeah.
Great. And we'll always be sharing about them here on the NCGR podcast. So there's definitely more to come from us. And we're going to be sharing in the show notes the link of where you can register for the webinar. That's going to be on October 19th. So thank you so much, Linda. We're so excited.
Thank you.
And we're really just grateful for your commitment to NCGR and the support you've provided to all the committees, and especially here at the podcast. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deborah, for doing this.